Going into 90+ degree heat with not much relief, that it is not going to take much to start a fire. We'll have all of our severity resources, aircraft in place and ready to fight fire.
Have you already, how many fires have you already responded to?
Yeah, we've deployed 2 teams to Oregon Department of Forestry fires, the Graham Fire and the Lobster Creek Fire. We've supported those, and there's been numerous initial attacks in southern Oregon and eastern Oregon, as well as here in northwest Oregon. So in our, all the folks here within Oregon Department of Forestry, and each one of our position descriptions, we have, it's written in there that we support fire, whether it's clerical, on the ground, and this gives folks a chance at our headquarters office in Salem to come out and physically load these aircraft and participate in the suppression of the fire.
And how are these aircraft used?
They're used for initial attack, so the minute the fire's called in, these aircraft are loaded and they're sent to the fire, and then they work with the ground crews and put a gel or retardant in along the fire line to help suppress the fire for the ground folks. So the single-engine air tanker, this holds 800 gallons of a gel or retardant, and they're very quick and very agile. A lot of times these aircraft can get in places where a heavy air tanker can't, and then these are our first line. They're rolling with our engines and ground crews to fire right off on the initial call, and then the large air tankers are in support of that fire as well. The key to the single-engine air tankers is they're much more maneuverable than a large air tanker, but also there's a lot more variance in conditions that play into when we can't use aircraft.
Okay, how long does it take to fill an empty one?
3 to 5 minutes to fill an empty.
Yeah.
We try for a 20-minute response time.
Okay.
So we strategically put retardant base or reload bases and our fixed bases for the seats throughout the state.
Okay.
So at any given time, where the seats are coming from, we're in a 20-minute coverage of the protection responsibility we have.
Right. Now I heard there were a couple of bases earlier, like Prineville, obviously, we have a reload.
So this seat's out of Prineville. We have 2 in Prineville. We share there's 2 seats in John Day that we share. One is a Forest Service and one is Oregon Department of Forestry, and then we have 2 in La Grande. Those are the primary bases for the seats.
Is there a typical altitude for the drops, or does that just depend on conditions?
The single-engine air tankers can go down to 50 feet above the treetop or terrain level,
really cool.
and the heavy air tankers are at 200 feet. So typically between 100 and 200 feet is where the seats like to drop at. They're effective at initial attack, and when we really, the key is to keep the fire small, and when the fire gets larger, they become effective at being able to knock down the fire spread enough for the crews and the ground crews and the engines and dozers to build line and suppress the fire. It's really the ground crews that put the fire out. We just assist and give it a good spot where they can do that with the aircraft.
And do you work collaboratively with U.S. Forest Service and BLM and others on these?
Yeah, we rely heavily, and we have great partnerships with the Forest Service. They provide the majority of the large air tankers for us. We have 1 ODF contracted air tanker in Medford, and then they provide the lead planes for us. Those are the smaller aircraft you see out in front of the air tankers leading them into the drops.
What fires have they been used on so far this year?
They've been used on the Graham Fire there, and several initial attack fires that never make the news because these air tankers are quickly respond and put the fire out.
What else should the public know?
That we're extremely dry. We're ahead of where we were last year at this time with the fire danger, especially in northwest Oregon, and as well there's just extreme caution when out in the woods.